What's up, guys? Bama'S Outdoors back with you again today, and before we get started I want to apologize for the cars going up and down the road. I wanted to do this video outside, and we're up here in the North Georgia mountains and there's people just coming in for the weekend, and so we've got cars coming everywhere. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to share with you guys some cheap equipment to get started trout fishing. I know it's just like bass fishing. There's so many expensive rod and reels. Well, it's the same way with trout fishing, but it doesn't have to be expensive to learn how to trout fish. In fact, I still use this today, and what I'm about to show you cost me less than 50 bucks. So this right here is a Shakespeare ultralight little guy on an ugly stick, Shakespeare ugly stick. I've had this rod and reel now for a year, and I have caught so many fish I can't even begin to imagine. Today we went fishing and we caught about 13 pounds worth of trout. Today was a great day for trout fishing on Friday the 13th of all days. We did something really good. We didn't get jinxed, so that was awesome. But this little rod and reel right here cost about, like I said, about 30 bucks. And I use another WAL-MART line. It's called Trout SOS, 6-pound test. Sometimes I use 4-pound test, but today I use 6-pound test. And this stuff right here cost maybe, I don't know, maybe 3, maybe 4 bucks. And one thing I would highly recommend is to take a net. I can't begin to tell you how many fish I've lost over the years, especially when I first started trout fishing not carrying a net. But since I've started carrying a net, I've caught almost all my fish. There have been some that's broke off and things of that nature, but I would recommend this Cortland net. You can also get this at Walmart. It costs, I think, around 20 bucks. Now, you can get cheaper nets at Walmart. The ones that have the mesh, it's like, yeah, it's more like a mesh in there. But the one reason I would highly recommend this net here is because it's you know, it's soft, it's easy on the fish, it's gentle on the fish. But if you do a lot of trout fishing using those other nets, sooner or later you'll get aggravated with them, because a lot of the times you'll go trying to dip the fish up and the hook will come out, and your hook will end up getting stuck in the mesh of those cheaper nets. So I'd highly recommend getting one of these nets here, because I've yet to have any fish come out, and yet to have had any of my hooks stick in here, which is really important, because you'll end up spending so much time trying to dig them out, and sooner or later you'll get aggravated with it and want to cut it trying to get a hook out, and then before you know it, you'll have holes all in your net and you end up having to go buy another net. So it's a good idea just to go ahead and buy the good net to begin with. And I always carry this little guy here, this little pack. Some people don't think it's cool, but you know what? I really don't care. You know, it has everything I need in it. I keep all my, in this front section, I keep all my hooks, my sinkers. I got some pliers down in here and things of that nature in that side. Here in the middle, I have another thing of fishing line I take with me. And see what else I got. That's all I got in that, is just a little more extra fishing line. And trust me, you don't want to go trout fishing without taking some fishing line, because working your line in the current and whatnot, and especially on these spinning reels, you'll get backlashes sometimes, and it's just trying to float the bait. Certainly it just messes up with the rod and reel, and the line especially, and you'll probably end up having to, you know, maybe cut some line off. So it's always good to bring some extra. That's just like bass fishing, always good to take some extra. I got these little guys. I would highly recommend bringing these, because a lot of times these trout will, you know, when they bite it, if you can't set the hook right, they'll get it down deep in their throat. These things right here, I have saved so many fish by having these. Not only do they cut your line, but you can pull it out and save the fish if you want to release it. But then I have all my baits in here and whatnot. But This is another thing that you probably would want to consider. They come in different styles and whatnot. This one's from Outdoor Products, and it's worked for me for about a year now. I'm thinking about getting another one here for long, probably one camouflage or something like that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing, guys. I've been trout fishing a lot. Tried bass fishing a couple days, and you know, I'm kayak fisherman, and these bass are still in transition from the pre-spawn to the spawn. And this lake I fish in is in a state park. It's so deep, and even with my anchor trolley, I never could hit the bottom of the lake to keep my yak stable enough. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for these fish to finally get up into spawn, where they start moving up closer to the shallows, and then I'm going to get my boat out so I can start working the edges of that lake and, you know, catch some of them. But I went a couple times and got a little frustrated. I saw a couple of male bass trying to stage up and whatnot, but that's about it. But anyway, I wanted to take a minute and touch base with y'all and say thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you to all of you who comment on my videos. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Feel free to ask me any questions at any time. I try to get back and reply to each comment as soon as I can. Please continue to share the channel. We're about at 500, you know, halfway to that magic 1,000. And that's where we're aiming to get, so we can get back and maybe monetize our videos. But we're really not too concerned about the money. We're just really wanting to have a good time. But thanks again, and I appreciate y'all taking the time again to watch this video, and I hope y'all have a blessed day. And as always, God bless and happy fishing.